Hello and welcome to Bacon. Also, welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. Waltz's Route, Chapter 8. And is it just me or are we zooming through this one? I don't even mean to. It's been almost 3 weeks since Mother's revival, and yet I have not heard or seen anything of her. What are you planning to do, Mother? Parfait told me before that the Tenebrarum had already chosen me as its next bearer. Does that have anything to do with why my mother is still in hiding? It is impossible not to feel the weight of my new responsibility. I have not yet fully accepted that I am now the bearer, but I cannot run from this responsibility for long. The Tenebrarum bearer's duty is to work alongside Parfait to balance the light and darkness of the kingdom. That balance had only just begun mending before Mother's sudden revival. For nights I have been wondering if there is some other way to stop Mother without fighting her. A small part of me hopes that perhaps Mother can still change. I think about that, and then I remember how Mother so heartlessly killed Father as soon as she had been revived. She was sleeping for 4 years, but that did not change her mind. Even now I can only assume that she still means to make this kingdom suffer. It feels as if my heart is twisting into a knot. I gasp when a bright spark fizzles to life in my hands. I clench and unclench my hands, taking deep breaths to calm myself. Ever since I started trying to work with magic, it has been activating on its own. Whenever I feel any sort of deep emotion, some type of electricity sparks in my hands. It is all I can do to try and keep my emotions in check. The last thing I want is to accidentally burn down the Marchen or hurt anyone inside of it. Delora and Waltz have both agreed to start teaching me how to use my magic. For the last few days, the forest near the Marchen has served as the training grounds. Parfait constantly cloaks the Marchen in powerful magic to keep our presence hidden from Mother and the other witches. It allows us to use our magic without worrying about being tracked. Should she really be doing that, though? Isn't there, items or something that she could be using, or something that could, hold the magic and just give her, a week or so to rest, or a few days at least? Oh, boy. Still, Parfait's constant spell has considerably weakened her. That's what I thought. Delora and Waltz tried to convince her not to cast it in the first place, but Parfait insisted that we remain as close to the Tenebrarum as possible rather than move somewhere safer. She told us all that I need to be close to the Tenebrarum as its bearer. As far as we all know, the crystal is still unmoved in the palace. I know that the chance I will face Mother in a battle of magic is extremely high. Although I fear the outcome, I have no choice but to consider the possibility. Time is running out, and I do not have the luxury of waiting much longer. I must decide what I must do. We all believe that I am the only one who can stand up to Mother, even with so little practice. Last night I told Parfait that I would make my decision the next day, and that I would tell everyone what I had decided. Now is the time for that decision. When I step into the reception room, everyone is already there waiting for me. I catch Waltz's eyes first. He cocks his head ever so slightly, his lips stretching into a warm smile. I nod at him and smile back. I take a deep breath before facing everyone. This is the first time I have spoken properly with everyone since my father's death. Before I tell you of my decision, I want to apologize for everything that I have done, for everything that has happened. Mother is back because I was a coward, and Father died because I was weak. Lucette. Ophelia is the first to respond. It wasn't your fault, dear. I stared out at the ground with my hands clenched. I tried to will my anger away, but only managed a few deep, stilling breaths before I look up again. I brought Mother back because I feared that disobedience would have them kill my father. Yet in the end, he was still. The image of Father's smiling face flashes through my mind. I clear my throat. I promised him that I would protect Angiel, and that is what I intend to do. I will do everything I can to protect our kingdom. Spoken like a true queen. The words are shocking, even more so when they come out of Delora's mouth. Well, can you blame her for being shocked? Queen? Why do you seem surprised, Princess? You know you're next in line for the throne. I hadn't even thought about being the next ruler. I'm not even sure I have the right qualities. Can I really do this? I wanted to see you become queen, protect our kingdom. I cannot let Father down. I have to do this for his sake, but the kingdom comes before the crown. I will only take the crown if I can win it back. Okay, very important decision. I will have to rely on all of you. I will need your help. This sounds more demanding than this one, so we're going to go with this one. I am still weak, but that will not stop me from training every day until we face Mother. I hope I'm not asking for too much, but I hope you will all fight with me to protect our kingdom together. You didn't even need to ask us that, Lucette. It goes without saying that we'll help you in any way that we can. I second that. We'll all be here for you. Aw, I smile at everyone gathered. Ha! I knew it. Well, I didn't know it for certain, but I had a feeling. Ha! I actually seem to be doing pretty well with Waltz's route versus, say, like, with Rod's and especially with Fritz's. I was not good at either of those routes. So this is what it feels to be trusted and needed. It feels good. It will be hard, but we will stop Mother. Together, we might stand a chance against her. Hilda is strong, but not invulnerable. Parfait looks at me, eyebrows furrowed. You know what we must do to stop Hilda, Princess? I feel a tinge of pain in my chest, but force my eyes to hold Parfait's gaze. I look into Parfait's eyes with determination. I do. Later that same day, I resumed my training with Waltz while Parfait and Delora try to come up with a plan. Durian and Garland returned to the town to listen for any information regarding Mother and Alcaster, or any happenings in the palace. I forced myself to focus only on learning how to use my magic as fast as I can. Today, Waltz is continuing his lessons on barriers. He has been teaching me the same spells for the past week, emphasizing my protection. Let's review the types of barriers I've been trying to teach you. Do you remember them? One shields you from harm, while the other deflects the spell back at the caster. Powerful spells cannot be deflected. That's why you need to be able to tell which spells can be reflected and which cannot, otherwise you'll end up using the wrong barrier. A single mistake can cost you your life. So, how do I know what barrier I must use? Allow me to demonstrate. You've seen me cast my spells many times, so you should be able to tell the difference between them. But, for now, let's think of it as another game. Just take a guess. Who knows? You might actually give me the right answer. I'll give you a nice little treat if you do. A treat? He always did like treating me in town. It's special this time. I'm special treat, eh? I will never grow up. I wonder if this is just like those other sweets he treated me to before. Walt snaps his fingers and a glimmering but faint purple light appears around him. Uh-oh. It is faded at first, but slowly becomes brighter as he moves his hands. Usually the effects of Waltz's magic are immediate, but the spell is taking longer to cast. Is it stronger magic? I remember Waltz telling me before that it takes a lot of energy to cast a strong barrier. Does that apply to offensive spells as well? Question time. What kind of barrier should you use? Well, based on the other routes, it does take longer to make a really strong spell. So I'm going to say a shield. The slow casting time makes this seem like a powerful spell, and powerful spells cannot be deflected. Surely this is the right answer. Is that your final answer? My confidence is thwarted by sudden indecision. Are you sure? I hated that in school. I hated it. Lucette, in the midst of a battle, you won't have the luxury of time to think about your decision. I look at him and nod. It should be the right answer. That is correct. Now prepare your shield. Uh-oh. I've never shielded myself from a powerful spell. What if my barrier breaks? Trust in yourself, Lucette. I do as instructed and stretch out my hands to cast a barrier to shield myself. Well, the answer was right, at least. Here I go. My hands shake as Waltz's spell collides with my barrier. I plant my feet to hold myself upright. Such a strong spell. When the light dissipates, I look up hesitantly before smiling triumphantly when I see that my barrier is still in one piece. I did it! Well done, little star. I hide the barrier again. My heart sinks when I notice new cracks in its surface. My barrier. Don't fret, Lucette. Even the strongest barrier will obtain cracks after being hit by a powerful spell. That is when you set up your next barrier. Your opponent will usually make the mistake of assuming you have the same shield up and attack you with a weaker spell to try to break it. Unless you're Mithras, in which case, he knows. Don't assume he won't know. He know. You can be ready for them with a new barrier. I nod. I'm impressed at how fast a learner you are. I have a good teacher. I think you're just a good student. Oh, you guys are cute. So when will you teach me offensive spells? I don't think you need to learn those quite yet. The witches we're up against will probably stick to offense, which means protecting yourself would be even more vital than trying to attack them. I told everyone that I would fight, and I meant it. If I need to hurt someone to save someone, I will do it. I look him in the eyes, my gaze unwavering. I still need to learn, even if it's just one offensive spell, Waltz. Did I see a gem? What if I need to help you? I cannot do that by just conjuring barriers. But it was the right answer! I will not lose anyone else this time, Waltz. I look up at Waltz and my heart aches at the sight of his frown. I do not want to lose you either. That is why I need to be as strong as possible. I want to be able to protect you. Waltz makes his way over to me in just a few strides and pulls me into his arms. I will do what I can to save you from a repeat of what happened last time, Lucette. But you won't lose me. Aww. Waltz pulls back and looks at me, his expression warm and gentle. Here's your treat, as promised. Huh? Waltz been done. I knew it was going to be something like that, and it was the correct decision. Haha. Waltz bends down to place his lips over mine in a soft kiss. I mean, it's no candied apple, but it is a short-lived kiss, but it is still enough to make me breathless. You're all red, Lucette. That was your special treat? Disappointed? I quickly press my cheek to his chest to keep him from seeing my tinted cheeks. No. Let's call it a day. You need to rest. Teach me an offensive spell first. Lucette, we've been practicing since morning. It will be dark soon. You already know that overusing your magic will take a toll on your body, especially when you're still getting accustomed to it. I shake my head at Waltz, determined. You know, buddy. You know how stubborn she be. He is so pretty! Using my magic before did wear me out, but now I can handle more. What kind of bearer would I be if I couldn't handle this much? Please, I am begging you, Waltz. He eventually sighs and rubs the back of his neck. Okay, but just one spell. Thank you. He steps away from me. I have a feeling this is going to be like a spell that she's actually going to end up using that's going to actually be helpful. Or at least a decision later on. What I will teach you is a lightning spell. It's not for the faint-hearted. It will inflict excruciating pain on your enemies and also potentially paralyze them. I nod as Waltz continues his explanation. Though I try my best to conjure the electricity, I have only managed sparks at the end of the day. I collapse onto my bed. I can feel the exhaustion lying over me like a blanket. I can barely move my arms after trying the lightning spell over and over again. I need to learn that spell as soon as possible. I yawn and then close my eyes. Sleep comes easy that night. Lucette, that voice. Come back to me, my sweet princess. No. You have no choice in this, little one. You will come back to me whether you like it or not. I will be waiting for you. I sit up in my bed, my heart pounding loudly in my chest and in my ears. A dream? I wipe unexpected beads of sweat from my forehead as I calm myself with steady breaths. No. I will never go back to you, Mother. I end up waking up later than usual, a result of my practice from yesterday. When I step inside the reception room, I see Jurian and Garland speaking with Parfait, Delore, and Waltz. There's a definite solemnity to the air. Solemnity, sadness, dread, something synonymous with that word I can't seem to speak today. They all turn to look at me as I approach. Did something happen? Princess, the palace made an announcement today. They're issuing a higher bounty on your head for murder and treason. What? It was very strange, what with the fact that they haven't even bothered to look for you since that day. Something must have happened that forced them to suddenly act. Dolores soon gathers everyone in the room to discuss Jurian and Garland's discovery. The only one who is not here is Anise, who is in town buying ingredients for the Martians' meals. I hope she's okay. Oh, if they kill off Anise. Oh, I'm gonna be mad. But Lucette didn't kill anyone. Isn't there some way to convince them? Alcaster is in power now, and the people favor him. Now that everyone remembers who I am, they are once again frightened of me. No one would listen to you. They haven't seen how much you've changed. If only they could understand your circumstances, then they might be more sympathetic. I look at Emmeline in surprise and find myself smiling at her. Are we having sibling bonding moments? Oh, it's so cute! You only really got that in rods. Thank you for your kind words. I turn to everyone once again and frown. Once again, I am the one putting everyone in danger. I am so sorry. If any one of them gets hurt, I will never forgive myself. Waltz takes my hand and squeezes it. A simple gesture does wonders to calm my nerves. Don't be too hard on yourself, Lucette. We've told you already. We want to help you. We're in this together. He's right. I'm not sure if there is much Rod, Emmeline, or I could do, but we will definitely support you until the end. Before I might have cringed at her words, but now Ophelia has nothing to gain from pretending. Mother's right. We're a family. We will not abandon you. Ophelia and Emmeline are both smiling at me warmly. Even Rod seems to have a ghost of a smile on his face. Thank you. I apologize for bringing this up, Karma, but is it possible to ask for reinforcements from Brugantia? Brugantia? Brugantia is one of our neighboring kingdoms. We have never had close ties, mostly because Brugantia's king tends to stay away from our personal and political affairs. They have always refused to engage in any sort of violent affairs. We all look at Karma, who stands there looking sullen. After a few moments, he lets out an exasperated sigh. You want me to ask the kingdom of Brugantia for help? I remember Karma mentioning before that he was part of a noble family, but I did not expect him to be from Brugantia. What is he doing? And how could he possibly ask for help from a king? The king does not participate in battles or skirmishes. It seems unlikely that he would provide support. He wouldn't provide assistance, not even if his own son asked him? Dun-dun-dun. Son, you mean? Karma crosses his arms and sighs. How dare you? Well, I suppose there's no use hiding it anymore. Yes, I am, dun-dun-dun, the son of King Clement of Brugantia. Judging from the sudden quiet in the room, it seems that Parfait, Delora, Waltz, and the knights were the only ones that knew. You're the Lost Prince? The Lost Prince? Gennaro told me that King Clement's oldest son had disappeared just a year ago. There were circumstances. My family never knew I had the fairy tale curse. I was forced to leave my kingdom so that I could come here to break my curse. He came to Angiel to break his curse. His eyes wander slowly to me, but then he focuses once more on the conversation. To answer your question, though, no, I do not believe my father would send help. He hasn't heard from me since I left a year ago. He would most likely think me some kind of an imposter unless I showed up at the kingdom's doorstep. Even then, he would have too many questions and we would never get the help we were seeking in time. It seems we can't rely on them for help then. Anise. Oh, thank goodness she's safe. We all turn to stare at Anise. The fine Lady Anise has suddenly appeared in the margin. What magic is this? God damn it, Rumple. I actually just came back. I'm sorry for startling you all, but I found this and I had to bring it back. Her smile fades as she pulls out a flyer for us to see. An announcement? From the look of it, 4 days from now, Alcastor will make a speech about the changes that are to happen to Angiel. Changes? That doesn't sound very promising. It means bad news, but it may be worthwhile to take a look. This might give us some insight into what's happening at the palace. Hilda is still in hiding, but it seems very likely she could be involved in all of this somehow. They could be plotting something special for that day. Gar and I can go to the event then. We'll make sure not to stand out. I am coming too. Lucette. Oh no. I need to know what is happening. I cannot hide forever, Waltz. I will go, and I do not need anyone's permission to do so. Oh, snap! Well, I guess you're technically the next queen after all. Delora, don't encourage her! We both know how stubborn she is. She won't stay put even if we command her to. Delora looks at me and winks. Parfait lets out a heavy sigh. Waltz and Karma will accompany her then. Waltz nods. Karma looks somewhat startled, but eventually nods as well. So until that day comes, we all need to prepare for the worst case scenario. And we're going to end things right there. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I am Bacon, and this so far has been Cinderella Phenomenon Waltz's Route. If you like the video, feel free to like the video, and if you like me, feel free to share, subscribe, comment, all that lovely stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!